Normally, February is a lull in the video games industry. However, with over 1,300 demos of upcoming games, Steam Next Fest gives us so much to play. Here are the 15 that are the most popular or that I found the most interesting. As always, all links can be found on my Patreon, where you can also check out my podcast covering topics that YouTube discriminates against. First up, we have Wicked Island, the next best looking open world survival game. As soon as I saw that you could ride dragons, I knew that this had to be the first game that I talked about. You can also gather creatures to fight with you, build your own house, breed those creatures. This is starting to sound a bit familiar. Now, there may not be automated weapons in Wicked Island, but they do have some more interesting features. With the sex on defeat system as well as impregnation, you can discover the monsters of this world in more ways than one. Wicked Island is available for PC on Steam and itch.io. Next up is Captain Hardcore, our only VR optional title on this list. You are on board a decked-out spaceship traveling through galaxies in search of participants willing to be experimented on. And this experimentation goes pretty much how you would expect it to go in an adult game. There is a vast selection of character customization, scene selection, and you can even go outside your ship and explore planets. I'm really looking forward to how this title progresses this year. Captain Hardcore is available for PC on Steam and their Patreon in both VR and non-VR formats. One of the most wish-listed adult games in this next fest is Sexy Room. In this Notori title, you have recently discovered that your crush from high school works at the same company as you. Sadly, you do learn that she's actually married, but that won't really stop you from trying to realize your adolescent dream, especially when you're sent to a magical room where you can't escape until you have sex. Sexy Room is available for PC on Steam. Sticking with the NTR theme, we have the World of Gangs. This Chinese fantasy RPG takes you on a journey across the world in search of Excalibur. You'll have to navigate and persuade your way through the multiple gangs that have taken ownership of certain lands. Maybe this is a localization thing. I'm not sure gang is the right word here, but whatever. There are many animated scenes and endings, as well as the normal RPG battles where you fight very large bears. The World of Gangs is available for PC on Steam. Next, we have a game that I have been very excited about since I covered it way back in 2021, Nightly Passions. The graphics are really well drawn and animated, there are mini games and a card battling system, and the characters are pretty funny. You can check out my previous review to learn more, and don't worry, I'm definitely going to revisit this game when it releases in April. Well, when it hopefully releases in April. Nightly Passions is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, with an Android version on their itch.io and Patreon. The next two games on our list are by the same publisher, Top House, Wanderer Broken Bed, and MILF's Plaza. While Wanderer is a Harry Potter-esque RPG with magic and wizardry, MILF's Plaza has a more summertime saga vibe with the addition of Jay and Silent Bob. Both are sandboxes with plenty of mini-games and animated scenes, and I was really surprised by how good they look so far. Wanderer Broken Bed is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, with an Android version on their itch.io and Patreon. And MILF's Plaza is available for PC on Steam with a Mac, Linux, and Android version on their Patreon. I am also really looking forward to our next title, Sinner's Landing. This game is made by the same people who made Paradise Lost, and it really feels like it, just in a fantasy setting. I'm not complaining, I loved Paradise Lost. Sinner's Landing adds in even more gameplay mechanics like card battling and dungeon delving, but keeps the lighthearted features from Paradise Lost like the painting minigame and the cool way they showed cutscenes. Sinner's Landing is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, with an Android version on their itch.io and their Patreon. Story of Eve 2 is the sequel to Story of Eve, A Hero Study, which came out on Steam in 2018. This game uses the same exploration system as the previous title, but introduces a new card battling system that you can upgrade and customize. Are card battlers going to be the new college harem? Story of Eve 2 is available for PC on Steam. By the same people who made Love of Magic comes their new game, Morning Star Book of the Fallen. You'll quickly realize that this title has all of the same characters as in the Love of Magic trilogy. However, they're different. That is because this fantasy visual novel is set in an alternate universe. You still play in a modern fantasy world with demons and monsters, but this time you'll be in New York as a mixed martial artist. So far, the biggest difference I see is that Morning Star is a match 3 puzzle game, rather than Love of Magic's poker combat mechanic. Morningstar Book of the Fallen is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, itch.io, and their Patreon. Next up is Wings of Seduction Bust 'em Out. Your main goal is to destroy the clothes of the love interests, or what they call the Hot Squad. That's it. Upgrade your gear, weapons, and skills from this very competent cat. As a heads up, the developer has stated that there is AI art for some of the backgrounds. Wings of Seduction Bust 'em Out is available for PC on Steam. I never thought I would see Bloons Tower Defense as an adult game. I mean, I shouldn't really be surprised, given everything else I've seen over the past 3 years. In Guardians of Eden, you are put in charge of the all-powerful Valkyries that have saved humankind. However, in charge of seems to involve a lot more than what you had bargained for. And you're now starting to see why all of the past caregivers died off as quickly as they did. Guardians of Eden is available for PC on Steam. Eighth Heaven is our next game and looks absolutely adorable. It's a slice-of-life adventure RPG where you are living out your new reincarnated life of being a bartender. You can make all your new monster friends their favorite drinks, increase their friendship, and maybe form more intimate relationships through animated minigames. Eighth Heaven looks like a chill and fun way to spend the summer, which coincidentally is when it should be released, and is available for PC on Steam and their Patreon. Our next game is the short kinetic novel, Benefit Ship. Amy is looking for a new roommate, whom she finds rather quickly, who also just happens to be Futanari. This is a slice-of-life, goofy story about the growing relationship of two friends with benefits. Benefit Ship is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam and itch.io. Speaking of growing relationships, next up is Fattening Career. This harem visual novel focuses on the flavors of feeding and weight gain. I haven't seen this flavor often, and I'm glad it's getting some recognition on Steam. We'll just have to see if these flavors further manage to expand their popularity. Fattening Career is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, with an Android version on their Patreon. And finally, we have our last game that I can't really show much from, Sex Please. This game is by the same developers of Sex Chess and Sex with the Devil, and it looks like it takes place in the same universe. Sex Please is about a streamer who thought it would be a great idea to sneak into a sex shop after hours. Still way less moronic than anything Logan Paul ever did. Of course, this goes as poorly as you expect, but at least you don't have to worry about being banned from Japan. Sex Please is available for PC on Steam. There you have it. What was your favorite game of Next Fest? Any mainstream games? I played a lot of Stormgate beta, but there was so much lag. So while it's not an adult game, I definitely did get screwed. Until next time, no shaming, just gaming.